everyone. Welcome to the Zone to Speak podcast. I'm your host, Juliana. Hey everyone. Before we dive in, a quick shout out to the amazing brands that I use and love. And the best part is when you shop with them, you are directly supporting this podcast so I can keep going. Here's the lineup. Cyc Plus, smart pumps for the perfect tire pressure. Down the road, cycling apparel that looks good and performs. New Zest, clean, plant-based protein and nutrition. Oleos, wellness shots with adaptogens and neurotropics for energy, focus, and recovery. Code Age, high-quality supplements like multivitamins, creatine, and collagen. Loop earplugs for travel, sleep, recovery, and noise control. Clearly not coffee. A smooth, caffeine-free energy alternative. Heal, quick, plant-based meals for busy or bikepacking days. Shocks, open-ear headphones that keep you safe while training. Frey skincare designed for active people and sweaty rides. All the links, discounts, and codes are in the episode description, so check them out, grab some great deals, and know you're helping keep Zone to Speak rolling. Now, let's get into the episode. Welcome back to Zone to Speak. Today's guest is someone who truly understands what it means to push beyond ordinary limits, not just physically, but with intention, heart, and purpose. I'm talking about Marcos Magalhães, also known as Magal, ultra-endurance cyclist, USA cycling coach, and fundraiser for Projeto Cura. Magal has an impressive race resume, twice completing the America Long Distance Classic, San Francisco to LA, during the 2021 Endurance World Championships, and racing across Florida multiple times. Whether he's conquering ultra races or channeling endurance into purpose-driven action, Magal is a story worth listening to. Today, we talk about how he got here, what keeps him going, and how endurance on the bike and in life is really built. Let's get into it. Magal, welcome to Zone to Speak.
Thank you. Welcome for the introduction. I'm feeling better already.
So most ultra endurance journeys start not with a finish line in mind, but with a deeper question. Why am I driven to do this? And what am I really looking for in the process? So Magal, let's start at the beginning. How did you first get into endurance cycling? And was there a specific moment when you knew these long days, long miles, pushing through fatigue was something you wanted to pursue?
No, I never thought about going this sort of distances before. I think when we met, long time ago, I was barely starting to be the weekend warrior, right? I think my first Gran Fondo was the one we did together.
Yeah.
In a lifetime ago. Anyway, yeah. And that's what I was doing. Like I was having fun on the bike. I always did sports in different ways growing up, including BMX when I was a kid. But no, never thought about it. I think the first challenger was like a very traditional ride in South Florida, the Bike and Mass, right? For a national organization that runs those kind of fundraisings, and was a challenge because it was like around 75 miles, 10K each way, and it was 2 days. So for me, it was that the pinnacle of doing long distance, right? I'm gonna do 2 days back to back, 75 miles. I found out soon enough that, I like so much because I did the fundraise and I see the people happy. There were, a lot of people were bringing money to that cause, right? To bring awareness for MS. And from that, I learned about the California ride, and was totally new experience. Was 7 days, was supported, and I think So I did it, did in 2017. None of my friends wanted to go. They're like, "You're crazy, you go there. Tell me when you're
So
stopped."
it's from just so anyone that's not familiar
Yeah.
with this, it's from San Francisco to LA.
to Los Angeles in 7 days.
And that's what, 700 miles or kilometers?
Miles is 550.
Okay, so it's about 700.
800 kilometers, I think. So I did that. I liked so much that I managed to convince one colleague, and we did it together in 2018. To this day, we ride that. He's back to Spain. Actually, every time there is a ride, this group rides with fundraising behind in Europe. There are multiple days. He invites me, so I've done it in September. I did from Paris to Lausanne in Switzerland in 4 days.
Amazing.
And it was awesome. Yes. And the year before I did London to Paris, but I did the long way. I did not take the train. We went to a port city. So we rode for a day, and then from there we took the ferry, and then another 3 days crossing France. So in a way, I crossed in 2 events. I crossed France from northwest to southeast, and lovely. I love everything about it. But again, I started doing that, and I said, "Oh, I can do 1 week," and fundraising for a good cause. Right in California was a 2-in-1. Was half for the San Francisco AIDS Foundation, or I don't remember the name. I'm sorry, but they're helping people that kicked out of the house because they got infected, etc. And the LGBT group in Los Angeles. And along with that, and you know it, right? If you ride for 2 hours with someone, you have a good chat and fun. You ride for a long day, you start making, this person would be a good friend. You ride for a week with that person becomes a friend.
Yeah.
And so I started getting all parts of my life getting better, right? I got better in leadership where I was working. I got better as a person. Obviously, not only the physical aspect, but I started saying, okay, I'm getting a lot more than I'm giving, right? And that's how that thing progressed. Pretty much since 2017, I'm always in some sort of fundraising cycle for some organization. And since 2021, was focused on cancer research and helping families. So I started in New York. In a ride that is across New York. It's Empire State Ride. We went it is awesome. That I think was, I dare to say that is better than California in the sense that it's not as hard. and took me
to flat. New York is really flat, or why?
Oh, well, no, it does have climbing on the north of the state.
Yes.
But I don't know. I think the experience was different. I know I'm probably extending too much on the answer, but one thing was, for California, it took me to a community that I didn't know much about it, right? I'm straight man, married with kids, kind of regular folk, right? Regular Joe, as I say in my account. And I met that group of, we were 2,000 riders. And probably 1,800 of them were gays, lesbians, or some
LGBTQ,
sort of
different
paths of sexual preference. And it was awesome. They have that thing that called the love bubble. And while you're in the group, they don't care where you're from. So that's an extra, right? The one in New York, I later found out, I found on the last day, when they wait everybody to arrive 5 miles from the end, and say, hey, okay, we're waiting for people. Raise your hand if you're from Florida. Raise your hand if it is. And that's all fun and games. You raise your hands. And then, okay, raise your hand if you lost someone to cancer. And then people start raising their hand. Raise your hand if you had cancer, you are survived. A lot of people around me raising their hands.
Wow.
when they start getting into this community, if you will, of people that are connected to the disease, I didn't raise my hand a single time. And I was like, oh my God, how am I blessed? And that's the reason I'm doing it again this year.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that, because I wanted to ask if you have a personal reason that made you connect to Projeto Cura, which is fundraising for cancer, but you just answered that you don't have a personal reason, but what brought you to this cause? Because there are so many causes out there. Is there any special reason why you chose this one, or you were chosen?
No, I actually looked for it. What I did was, like I said, I've been doing this for so many years, right?
Yeah.
And in US, and you live here, it's pretty easy to create a fundraising in a sense, technically, logistically, right? They give you a do it yourself website, and you build it, and the money goes to the organization. So I've been doing that for so long, and I said, you know what? If I do this for some organization in Brazil, the effect will be fivefold, sixfold, right?
Yeah, because of the currency,
depending on the exchange rate of the day.
Yeah.
And then I started searching for it. And I asked a friend of mine she worked for like 30 years at Novartis, right? And one of these big chemical or
pharmaceutical
vaccine companies.
Yeah.
And let me help. And she found a lawyer that worked with this, and she put him in contact. And based on kind of the criteria I wanted to work with, and she presented me to Projeto Cura. Projeto Cura, I met their president and some of the staff, and coincidence enough, she said, "Oh, I just moved back to Brazil. I used to live close to where you work, right? I'm out in South Florida. And by the way, where do you work?" And I told her where I work, and she said, "Oh, my youngest son worked there." So I actually met the president's son before I met her, and then that's how we started. We did that for 3 years. Actually, I think they still have the website up, and I was going to continue. I'm going to continue with them, because I think the impact, like I said, the impact is bigger, right? I'm in the, let's say, market that they cannot reach, because they're Brazil and in Latin America.
Yeah.
And every dollar I get, it's a lot more money, right? So that's how I started. So we got along pretty well, and I started having conversations with the team, and like they helped my building a page with my profile and a donate here button, and etc., which is, as you know, it's not common in Brazil. So it took a lot of doing to get that done. But yeah, we set it up, and we've been doing this from 2022 all the way to the end of last year. I'm still in contact with them. I just kind of put in a pause, because again, I'm going to continue with cancer. But I wanted to do the New York ride again.
Yeah.
I just got their swag, and I want to do it again. I had an amazing experience, but differentiating for everything else I did in fundraising rides. And I said, you know what? I want to do it again and see what else comes.
Very cool. Very cool. It must feel so nice to see, the impact that you are making, and doing something you love. And speaking of what you love, being an athlete and being a coach are connected but different. Mm-hmm. One is about your own performance. The other is about helping others find their performance, confidence, and goals. And you are a USAC certified coach. What motivated you to step into coach, and how has helped others grow, changed the way you understand your own journey?
I gotta go very technical on this.
Okay.
And again, I don't do this for a living, right? I'm your typical corporate rat, being my entire life. I'm still guy working 45, 50 hours a week. And one of those many sessions that you have doing self-assessment and understand, I found out in Strength Finder 2.0 from Gallup that I'm a learner. That's my highest skill by far.
Okay.
Like everybody look at me like I was weirdo because they had decision making and etc. So I'm a learner. So back in the day when the bikes were like this, simple mechanic, caliper, brakes and cables and stuff, I start doing my tinkering until I learned that I need to do a proper fitting, and then I start learning how to do the maintenance because I need to save money. But then big bikes became too complicated. Hydraulic brakes, fire-by-wire shifting, everything is carbon and expensive. So at that point, I had a coach for 3, maybe 4 years, and I started doing self-coaching for a couple of years. And I was like, okay. And I always had that thing with people asking me, because I was that weird guy at the company that I was always doing something, what did you do in a week you're spent? I rode 1,000 kilometers as my week vacation, and they look at me and so people start coming at you and say, okay, I was thinking about this, and I said, you know what, let me get some of the proper training, if not for anything, at least I learned, right? I don't have a coaching business, right? What I do is now I have a little bit more information, I'm a little bit more educated, so I can tell you do like this, right, as opposed to whatever you're doing, because so at least I can just don't believe me. I think the certified coaching, right, the USA Cycling certification maybe brings a little bit of more trust in what I'm saying, right?
Yes, obviously.
Again, I would love to be a coach, but I still have to pay the bills, and it's a long way to become a successful and money-making coach. So I have to choose one profession. So right now, I stick with what I know better.
Yeah, but like you said, it's always good to learn, right? When I was on my triathlon racing days, I also started learning nutrition, because it's such a fine line between eating right and not gaining weight. Like you need to have fuel, but there's this fine line, and so much contradicting information out there. And I just decided to go and learn. And I do have a few clients on the side, but I do have my full-time job that pays the bills as well. So from all of the races you have done, San Francisco to LA twice, the Empire State Ride, the how do you say that? Cheaha? The one in Cheaha Ultra multiple times across Florida. Is there one that stands out as most transformative? What made that race so significant for you? I mean, I'm afraid you're going to say New York, because you just said I have to go back.
Yes.
Tell me.
Yeah, I kind of spoil a little bit.
Yeah.
New York was totally different, right? It was just off, I don't know, 2 years of COVID, right?
Mm-hmm. So a big high from being outside and riding the bike after being cooped up.
I was itching, but and not only that, right? Well, for one, biking was what got me through with the entire staying at home kind of thing, because there was a point that you could ride by yourself.
Yeah,
I think that was really when my desire of keeping going further and further was there, because you're being repressed, right? You have to go out and quickly do 2 hours, 3 hours, in that same thing around the neighborhood, and you cannot stop for coffee. So there was but at the same token, I had a lot of time to prepare. I think most of my PRs is still back from 2021, and I was flying. I mean, granted, I was 4 years younger than I'm now, but I got I had a lot of energy. I was feeling, wasn't a race, but I said, okay, it's not a race, but I want to be in the first group that arrives every single day. So I did that on the first day. I think I was the third or fourth rider to arrive. Then some of the people that were drafting, because I was not counting on anyone, I was just pushing to the limit. I knew I could do the 7 days. I wanted to, these rides, the only downside is a lot of beginners. So I want to be out of the beginner group so I don't risk accidents and I don't, right? So I did that the first day, felt awesome. A few other guys said, hey, you did a really good pace. Let's do it again and keep doing. Okay. Second day, we were there and we were like hauling, 20 something miles, over 30K an hour in a group, rotating. And well, you lived in New York, or you know New York well. There's a lot of trails in the Empire State Trail system. So this ride goes around 400 miles on those trails, right? But they have, in every single time you cross in the street, you have that 2x4 pole right in the middle. So the dumb Americans don't think that is a street and get into that. So every time you cross in the street, the guy out front would point and say pole, and everybody got away. Well, one of those guys said just too late, and I was second. By the time he got off the pole, I hit straight on at 24 miles per hour.
Ouch.
Dislocated the thumb, broke a finger, scratches all over. Thank God the helmet. I did a front flip. I think I would give myself a 6.5 because I didn't land it. But and I was there holding my hand because the thumb had gone like an inch. It was totally off, right? And I was like, yeah, that's over. All that effort, fundraising that I know. I fund.
That was day 2?
That was day 2. And I was like holding my hand like this and waiting for the support, right? We were like 2 miles from the rest stop. And then as I was waiting, my bike, no way. I still have it hanging in the garage. I cracked right underneath, let me see. Right here underneath the fork. But as I was waiting, the thumb popped back in. And I was like, oh, I'm good to go. And thankfully, that rest stop did not have the medical team. The medical team was on the next one. So I just talked to the mechanic and he said, no, your bike is out of commission. Oh, but we have a brand new giant TCR. It's your size. If you want to set it up for you. So typical race mechanical fashion.
Wow.
Set it up, tape my computer because they didn't have the bracket. Off you go. Okay, now can we give you a little bit of tape? Okay. My hand is holding my finger. I was all sore, right? But I was like, the mindset was something that was, I don't know if I have any me anymore because I think I wasted I used everything in that day. So long story short, I finished, they treat me. I cried for like 5 minutes in front of the masseur that was waiting for me. And then at night I had to do a full body 360 FaceTime with my wife to show that I was actually intact. And I just kept going and I finished the other 5 days. 3 of those days I was like top 10 guy arriving.
Wow.
Just because at that point, the guys that was helping, I was usually doing the pulling. They just said, no, we're not abandoning you. We're going to pull for you until the end if you're up to it.
Aww.
And like I said, became friends. A guy from Pennsylvania and the other from California met a Brazilian from Florida in New York, and that's what you get. So that was
that's a big high. A lot of emotions.
Big high. Yeah, and I just didn't have a chance to go back because of logistics, time, money to go in.
Yeah,
and I was involved with the Projeto Cura, so it was like a year long. I always do a break for the MS. I never abandon the MS ride, so I do it every year. But it's like a 3-month period of fundraising. I get the company's team to go. So we managed to have years that we had 15 people from the company raising $15,000 in the process. There are days that are not so much, years that are not so successful, but I keep doing that. But New York, I felt like, because I was the guy that had to be fixed every day, every morning, right? It's one Advil for the pain before to sleep.
Yeah,
next day, breakfast, another Advil. The guy would tape my hand, would put some protection on my fingers. They were all scratched, I think, as I fall. How you doing? I think they were a little bit late in the game, but they were checking for concussion, and I didn't have anything, apparently. So I met the entire crew of volunteers, including the guy that runs the event for from the beginning. And we were chatting on LinkedIn for all places. And he said, "Wow, why don't you do it again?" And I said, "Oh man, I really want to go, but you know." And they say, "Hey, no pressure. You register." And so I decided, literally I'm announcing on your show, because I kind of decided that like a week ago or so. I didn't have a single fundraising event, and haven't raised a single dollar yet. But that's how it goes. I'm just excited to go and do it again. That's the reality.
I can't wait just to know how it went. Hopefully, no accidents this time.
Yes, that's the number one goal, right? And not let finish without crashing.
Give more space between you and whoever's pulling. Maybe do all the effort or something.
Yes, exactly. Yes, I don't mind pulling. Go ahead, tag along, people. Yeah.
I'm a little bit. I come from road cycling before triathlon and then ultra cycling, but I don't know if I would go back to road cycling. All these pelotons and drafting makes me so nervous. But you never stop. You're always doing a lot of things, and training isn't just long rides. It's also recovery, mind and body balance, sustainable motivation, discipline. What does a typical training day look like for you? How do you balance intensity with recovery, and how does that change over years? And you also mentioned, you have a family, you have a full-time job. Tell me, how do you balance all, and what is a typical day for you?
I train I do some sort of training basically every day. I think the best thing I learned through the years is pace myself. When I was start doing the ultras, I got into nutrition, but not enough to try to learn or get a certification, at least not yet. But I really love the topic. I'm blessed that my wife is a personal chef, so it helps a lot, and she's on the healthy side. She's always been. I got nutritionist support as well, even though at this point I'm kind of running on my own for now. But what I do is, again, like I said, I self-coached for a few years. I started in December with a coach from Brazil. Our friend Vinicius recommended him, so I went to talk to the guy, and a very young guy, and a specialist in doing the ultra gravel races, right? The biking man. But what I do is, I have a very demanding job where what I do. It's office job, but it's a lot long hours. I work with teams across the globe, so I have the occasional 9 p.m. or 6 a.m. What I do is I try to balance everything in the sense that, okay, I have to do the training. So I am constantly checking the professional calendar with the personal one. Happens a lot that because I'm a little bit older, right? I'm 55 right now. I noticed in the past couple of years that I really had to focus also on my sleep. So what happened is I have a certain training, it's a weight training, and I can do it at the company's gym in the afternoon, so I sleep a little bit. But if I move my gym to the afternoon, I cannot do the hard ride on the next day because I won't be compromised. So I move the ride to the afternoon. So I'm constantly shifting between morning and afternoon. If I can do everything in the morning because I'm going to sleep 9 p.m. I'm on bed, right? So I allow myself to do it. So I think the number one is I don't sacrifice sleep anymore. I'm very happy to achieve like 7-ish hours a night, which is far better than my 5.5 and 6 a few years back. And I'm balancing the cross training in the weight room with the different interval training. And luckily, I always get the Saturday and sometimes Sunday to do the long rides that is just,
Yes.
Z2 and everything. And occasionally I take a day off. Like when I'm reading off, I think the name of the game is the mental discipline. I'm very specific about that because discipline is fine. I'm going to wake up every day at 4 a.m. I'm going to do blah, blah, blah. And you're going to destroy your personal, professional, and health along the way. No, that's just discipline. For me, you have to be with purpose. And my purpose is, okay, I have to do a little bit today, whatever it is, and I'm going to adjust my time. So I do it the way I'm supposed to do, doing well, and also trying to set up the next day so I not fail. If that you have the unexpected events, like you stay longer at work, and I just say, okay, I cannot do it. I'm not gonna do the training, as opposed to do it badly here and compromise the next one. I don't do it today. I sleep well, and then I do it. So again, it's fluid, but I have a structure, but it's fluid. I'm not, like I said, I'm not that 4 a.m. kind of guy.
No, it makes sense. It makes sense. And I was talking about that with someone else about, execution, because sometimes it's the training is there and then we want to do it because it's there and then you just don't execute as well. Might as well just not do it. Like, do it. If you're going to do it, execute it. And I read something today that it made so much sense. And I hope to try to remember this when I don't feel like training. And there's a difference between listening to your body and being lazy,
Yeah.
But
Totally.
I read today was like train with purpose, not with your mood, something like that, which means like, focus on your purpose and your goal instead of, just your mood, So it's a good reminder. But yeah, I could never train in the afternoon. I'm such a morning person. If it doesn't happen in the morning, it's not going to happen later. And I'm glad you're talking about rest and sleep, because those should be also part of the disciplines that we train, and they are so important.
Yeah, I think it's especially as you get older, right? One discipline, if I can use the word in a different sense, right? That I'm pursuing since last year, that I'm trying. I learned about it, is randonneering. Until last year, I didn't even know what it means. I had no idea. I just do long rides. No, you have this. This is an international thing. You have a certain time frame, but it's not a race, and you do this long distance and blah blah blah. And I was like, oh, that's cool, because you can do that in a group, right? That helps, and I start getting involved with this person, this kind of riders, and you look at them, they are mostly high 50s, mid 60s. So are people that are retired, very few younger than, I don't know, 45. I did a 300K last week with this group, and there was one guy that I would say is high 30s, low 40s. Everybody else was 55 and up for sure, with the eventual 60 something. And I was like, that works. And what all these people have in common, they do a lot of miles, but they take care of their bodies, otherwise they couldn't do it. And I said, okay, that's maybe it feels like a good way to to go about the long distance. And that's it.
There are many different disciplines out there for cycling. It's so vast. You can do so many different things, and it's crazy that just in long distance cycling there's also different disciplines. So that's what I really love about cycling. You can do so many different things. You never get bored of it.
Yeah.
And you have taken a lot of crazy races out there. Some races test your body, some races test your soul.
Yes,
1,000 mile, or kilometers. really asks a bit of everything. So what draws you to come up with those challenges?
I think I remember. Well, the best way I can put it is something that you said in one of one of your interviews about going backpacking, right? How it's drawing you more than the rigid. Oh, I have to do this. I have to have that time, etc., etc.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel like that as well. I mean, every now and then you have to put yourself in a challenge,
Yeah.
right? But what happened to me is, you were describing some of the events I did. I think the full picture is I failed a couple times badly, and that's what drove me to 1000. It's, in a matter of speaking, most of this is your fault. I was there. I had done the 2021 ride, crash and all, finished. Got myself at 51. I got to do an executive MBA. Right, that's something I had in my head since I was 20 something, and it was extremely hard because, well, an MBA is hard, but number two is it was a full MBA in 18 months. So you had full day Saturdays, almost every Saturday, night classes, while working 45, 50 hours. And so end of 2022, I finished 3.97 GPA, whatever that means for the non-Americans. With Americans know that's a high grade. I was very happy with it. And then I hear about you going with Juliet to across Andes. And I was like, that's a challenge. I never done that distance. I never done gravel that distance, let alone supported. So I'm going to give it a try. So I start preparing for it. In the middle of the training, I got promoted. Yeah, great. No, a lot more responsibilities.
More work, yeah.
And so I got in the 2023 across Andes, burnout from work, burnout from the training. And seriously, after the shakeout ride, I was scared shitless, if I can say.
Yes, you can.
I was like, I'm not going to make any time. No way I can finish this. So my mindset was not
it wasn't in the right place. Yeah. If you start already like that, it's, yeah.
I'll say, okay, I'm here. I'm going to start. I'm going to do it. And, well, I started doing, I think I did, the first day was close to 200K. I don't remember the distance. What I did not count was, I was counting on the cold. It's Chile, right? I was not counting on the cold and rain for 6 hours and start getting my extremities numb. And I was like, one of the very first times that I really felt that, okay, now I'm risking limb and, and body and stuff. And I said, no, that can be another chance. Okay. I passed my past cross with the car, the organization. Okay, take me. Okay. Give up.
Yeah. It was a really tough year weather-wise for Across Sundays. Yeah.
So there you go. I did that. And then fast forward, in Chile, I met with our friend Vinicius, who runs the Biking Man in Brazil. Gentleman, love him.
He's amazing.
And I thought, well, in Brazil, it's not that cold. I know it's going to be well run. It's in my country. That's an awesome place to finish my first ultra gravel. But I had let go from my company. And I was obviously stressed as well. But I was doing my thing. I had paid for everything. Might as well go and do it.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, I'm going to finish the year with something.
Mm-hmm.
But then at the night of the first day, a recruiter from my own company called me and, hey, we have a position for you. You don't need to leave. But I had to negotiate in the middle of nowhere, Brazil, pitch black, in a 9 p.m. That added a little bit to the stress.
Yeah.
So that conversation went for the next day. And as I was going to the checkpoint, and I said, now I'm going to go down to the beach thinking about all that, I'm going to crash the bike. I need the job to have the money to do this next time.
Yes.
And then I gave up. So I scratched my second gravel, and I said, okay. When the year turned, I got a new job. I'm like, getting things back to normal. And I was like, oh boy, how much do I have to wait to do 1,000K in 5 days? So I come up with my own. I couldn't trust on the schedule. So I put a route that was safe enough that I would ride enough cities around Florida. So I went from Central Florida to the Gulf of Mexico. Then I go up to Gainesville.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So then from there, I go to the East Coast, down to Daytona Beach, famous Daytona Beach, and then back and I said, backpacking. I had my clock in 120 hours because that's what, we expect in 1,000K.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to wait. So I was happy. I did that entirely solo, backpacking. Some days I slept at the hotel. A couple of nights I slept at my daughter's friends that lived around the area. They were kind enough to receive me. And I love it. So I said, okay, now I know I can do 1,000K in less than in 5 days. And let's see what comes ahead. So that's why I put a name on it, but it's nobody knows about it. I put the Magal 8,000 because I had to name something, right? So that's why I probably fooled you in that something important. was like that. I said, hey, I need a week vacation.
I love that because you were going through life changes during 2 separate races that played with your head, and it's something that happens. And yeah, I think it's really cool. You didn't wait for anything, any occasion, any race. And I think also maybe it's something that can make you shake off this DNF thing that maybe was on the back of your mind, that you created your own route, you did it on the time frame, and now you are ready to tackle what's next. So that's my question now. What's next besides New York, Empire State?
All right. Yeah. New York
right.
wasn't expected. What I've been doing is I love both, right? I love the road, the long distance, the randonneuring thing. And I love the gravel thing. I love the part where you don't have to worry about cars. You're in nature.
Yeah.
It's more, I think, as a Brazilian, I think that's probably more on the roots, even though I haven't ridden the bike too much in Brazil, at least not at this level. So the plan now is, what I've been doing is I'm practicing what I'm going to have to do in 2027 to ride the Paris-Brest Paris, right? It's the mecca of the randonneuring.
Yes.
In less than 4 days. And I start doing this. So my first half of the year, I have to ride a 2, 3, 4, and 600K events.
Yes.
Did the 200 on the very first weekend of the year to get out of my system. Did the 300 with the group now. And now in the next couple of months, I'm going to do the 4 and the 6. Then New York came as a bonus, right? Because of everything I said. But the ultimate goal, that's the reason I got the coach in the first place. I want to try to do the Biking Man 1000 in October again.
Wow, cool.
So that's my mix, right? I'm going to build the body as far as the distance, the time, in a way that didn't beat me up too much. I intend to get a new bike. I'm going to go to the save my shoulders and arms front suspension on a bike. Gonna get one that is lighter, specifically for ultra. That is in the works financially.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's an investment.
And then the second half is just gonna be gravel until the bike man. So
cool.
that's for this year. And like I said, next year I'll repeat the 2, 3, 4, 6, and I think the Paris-Brest Paris in August. So
wow, a lot of big, ambitious plans. I expect nothing different from you. And I can't wait to watch you. And well, I am so happy you came to the podcast. Thank you so much for this conversation. Thanks for sharing your insights, your heart, your experience. You always show that endurance isn't just about pushing harder, it's about purpose, compassion, and perspective you bring to the miles. So thank you so much and stay in
thank
touch.
you. Thank you very much. Thank you for the opportunity. Yeah, I like it's just a matter of what can we bring positively, right? And that's how you convince me, because to do the podcast in the first place, because I didn't find myself that interesting. I've seen the people you interview, their accolades and stuff, but you said everybody has a story to tell, and I was like, maybe I get one person that it's 50 laying on the couch, right? And then they say, hey, I'm gonna ride. Or maybe their interest, oh, how can I help the fundraising and stuff? Oh, yeah, we can share the links, and maybe you can help, right? So if I get any of that, and hopefully I was interested enough for the audience, mission accomplished. I mean, I just love it. Just love the chance to see you, because we've been continents apart for so long, and just chatting offline because of the time difference and stuff. I'm glad we had the chance to do this, and
Me too.
I'm just thrilled to be, and share some of the experience with you.
Me too. Thank you so much. And I will go to the episode description because all the links that Magal is talking about will be here. All right. Well, thank you. Until next
Thank you
time.
very much.
And that's all for today's episode. I want to thank the listeners for tuning in. Your support means everything. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider following, leaving a review, and sharing it with your friends.